Hello, my dear students. Today we will learn the first chapter of our ICSE syllabus, mathematics, that is GST. So, this is our first chapter. What is the full form of GST? First, we will learn this one. GST is goods and service tax. Goods and service tax. In funny way, sometimes the people says this is Gabbar Singh tax or Ganguly Sehwag Tendulkar tax, but it's goods and service tax. First, we have to know when these things. No, before 2017, in our taxation system, there was no GST. In 2017, this current government, they introduces GST. They impose GST on our taxation system, in Indian taxation system. So first we have to know what is goods. What is goods? Yeah, this pen, my t-shirt, this mic, these are goods. When we purchase these things, we had to pay some amount of GST, and that GST is known as the goods tax. Goods tax. Now we'll know about the services. What are services? Goods, we understood that these are the goods when we purchased, we paid GST. But what are services? Services are when we let you travel from Mumbai to Ahmedabad, or I travel from Kolkata to Siliguri. So I have to purchase one rail ticket. So Indian Railway providing service to us. So they are asking some GST. They impose GST on their services, that is service tax. Like that, if you fly from Kolkata to Delhi, so that flight company, they impose GST on the basis of their services. So that is another kind of service tax. If you stay in a hotel, so hotel provides us services, so they impose some GST. So this kind of GST which imposed on the services, so these are service tax, and all together we call it goods and service tax. I hope it's clear to all of you. Next, jump into the next phase, that in 2025, India government introduces the GST 2.0. 2.0 came. So before, how many slabs were there? Before, how many slabs were there from 2017 to 2025? There are 4 slabs of GST. We need to know, just for our knowledge, these things. When India government introduces GST in 2017, so 2017 to 2025, there are 4 slabs of the GST. That was 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%. And few commodities were 0% GST, means they were free from the GST. So this is up to 2017 to 2025, these 4 slabs. Now after 2025, India GST 2.0 came. In GST 2.0, since 2025, they changed the slabs of the GST. There is 0%, 5%, 18%, and 40% for the luxurious items, luxurious cars, and all. So this is the current structure or the slabs of GST since 2025. But in our syllabus, what we need to study for to ICSE ICSE examination, we have to prepare ourselves. So our focus areas. I'm writing here our focus areas. Our focus areas. First, we have to know about the trading. Number two, types of GST. Number three, cascading. Number four, input and output tax. Number five, net tax or tax liabilities. And number six, problems. Okay, so these things we have to know one by one. First, we will know about the types of trading. So first types of trading, then types of GST, then cascading. This is very much important to know why GST is imposed in this taxation system. What is the benefit of GST? If you understand this cascading, will it all the sums and whatever may be about the GST, it will be clear to you. Then input and output tax, net tax or tax liability, and the related problems we will solve. So first, let's jump to the types of trading. Types of trading. Trading. We know trading means what? Trading means I purchased this pen from some other shops. So it's a trading. He bought from somewhere. So it's a trading. Trading means purchase something and selling something. That is a trading. We have the idea. So trading are of two kinds. First is intra-state trading, and second is interstate trading. What is intrastate? Intra means within the same state, and interstate between the two different states. So tradings are of two kinds. One is intrastate, another is interstate. What is intrastate? Intrastate means the trading happens within the same state. Like somebody purchased something. I'm staying in West Bengal, so somebody purchased something from Kolkata and sold it at Siliguri. Okay, it's any shop. So it's a this trading happens inside the state. If you go, if you purchase something from Mumbai and sold it in Nagpur, eh, within same state, Nagpur and Mumbai are in Maharashtra. So the trading happens within the same state. So it's an intra-state trading. But interstate trading, what is interstate trading? Interstate means something you bought in Kolkata and sold it in Assam somewhere. So this trading happens in between two different states. So it's a interstate trading. So I hope it's clear the trading, because to solve the GST problems, first you have to understand about the trading. How many kinds of tradings are here? That one is intrastate, another is interstate trading. Next, we will jump to the next item, that is types of GST. And when this GST imposed, GST are of three kinds: SGST, CGST, and IGST. SGST, A stands for state, C stands for central, and I for integrated. These short forms sometimes comes in the examination. That what is the full form of the IGST? Integrated or inter, something they will give. Okay, so this is SGST. GST, you know, goods and service tax. SGST in the state, which is the share of the state, and CGST, which is the share of the central government. Okay, and IGST, that is called integrated GST. Now we'll come to know here that when government made the taxation system, when we need to pay the CGST, SGST, or IGST, that we need to know when we need to pay. For that, we have to know about the trading. When there is a trading, intrastate trading, you have to pay this to GST. This is for intrastate trading. So government imposed for intrastate trading CGST and SGST both, and central government and state government equally get. This is a pen I purchased from my nearby shop, and he also purchased from Kolkata. So it's a intrastate trading. It's happened within the state. So suppose I paid the GST as a GST 10 rupees, rupees 10 as GST, and it was an intrastate trading. So what will happen? These 10 rupees will be divided equally into two governments, between two governments, like 5 rupees, rupees 5 will come to the state government treasury, and here rupees 5 will come to the central government treasury as CGST. So in intrastate, the equal share of the total GST will go to the central government and as well as the state government. Okay, so but what about the integrated GST? This integrated GST applied only for interstate trading. Interstate trading. Integrated GST imposed by the government only for the interstate trading, when the trading happens between two different states. But there is a very controversy. There was a very controversy. It's a controversial thing it happened there also in. So what is the controversy? The let somebody purchase something uh, in Mumbai and sold it in Ahmedabad. So Mumbai is in the state of Maharashtra and Ahmedabad is in the state of Gujarat. But it's a intra-state trading. But no one, either Maharashtra or the Gujarat government, they will not get the share of this GST. This GST, IGST, will directly go to the central government. Will go to the central government. There is no share of the state, only central government. Only central government will get this, get the benefit of this IGST. I hope it's clear to all of you what is SGST, what is CGST, what is IGST, and when we impose, when we pay this SGST, CGST, and when IGST. Next, we'll jump to this important portion of the GST, and that is cascading. If you understand what is cascading, then you will realize what was the benefit to introduce GST in our taxation system. In our taxation system. Now, we are entering the core portion of the GST. What is the core portion? First, we have to know why government introduced. We had a taxation system, so why go? It was required to introduce GST. If we understand this cascading system, what is cascading? Then it will be clear to all of you that why it was required. What is actually cascading in economics? This cascading, in simple way, we can say it's a tax on tax. Tax on tax. Tax on tax मतलब क्या है? टैक्स के ऊपर टैक्स देना. To get rid of this tax on tax, to get rid of this tax on tax, government introduces GST. This is the reason that government introduces GST. Now we will understand what is the cascading. By one example, we will understand this one. What was before 2017, before GST, and after GST? After GST. If we understand by this simple example, everything will be clear. Minutely follow my video, it will be clear. Sorry, before GST. Then you have to understand first the supply chain. What is the supply chain? At this wholesaler to retailer and to consumer. Okay, the same thing is here also. Wholesaler to retailer to consumer. Okay, no problem. In this case, from wholesaler to retailer, what happens? This is the pen. Suppose you just consider its price is 100 rupees. Cost price is 100 rupees. This is for the retailer. Well, when retailer went to the before 2017, when retailer went to the this wholesaler and asked that what is the cost of this one pen, they told okay 100 rupees you pay. Then he took out 100 rupees and told give me. Then the wholesaler told no, you have to pay the tax. That was value added tax or something was before. Okay, VAT was there. So he told okay, tax how much? 10%. That means 10% of 100 rupees is 100 only 10 rupees. So final price 110 rupees. He paid 10 rupees tax and 100 rupees and grab it. Next step is coming here. From retailer to consumer. What was happening? Minutely listen. Consumer went, I am the consumer, I went to the retailer, and what is the cost of this one? He told, oh, I paid the 110 rupees. He calculated 110 rupees. So 110 and he put one sticker here. He told 110 plus his profit. Let's suppose 10 rupees profit. No problem. So cost price of the consumer was 110 plus 10 rupees. So 120 rupees. This was profit. This was profit. So he told I already paid 110. What he did here, he added the tax as the cost price. So even now, when you paid 120, he told no, you give me 10% of 120 because there is tax, 10% tax. So I am the consumer, I have to pay tax equal to 10% of 120. So 12 rupees. So finally I paid how much? I paid the final CP for me 120 plus 12, 132 rupees. 132 rupees. Look at here. This 110, out of this 110, 10 rupees was the tax. So I paid here 10% of 120 means I paid the tax on this profit. I paid the original cost price 100 and the tax on the tax. So that was cascading. That was cascading. I paid the tax on tax. So finally I paid 132 for this one. Now when GST came, what is the benefit? You just minutely listen. Wholesaler to retailer. What happens? Again, cost price same. Cost price is 100. GST already imposed. So I'm writing GST here as the tax is 10%. 10% means here 10 rupees, no problem. So then final amount to get this one by retailer is 100 plus 10. So 110. He paid 110 and came back to his shop. Now I came to the retailer as a consumer to buy this pen again. Now when I ask what is the cost price of this pen, then retailer will not say that 110. Listen carefully here. 110 is not the cost price. He can't take it. He will say 100 is the cost price. He will say rupees 100 is the cost price. Okay. If he adds some profit, he will add that one. Let cost price plus 10 rupees again profit. 10 rupees again profit. So he will say that 110 is my cost price, but he didn't add this 10 rupees tax. He added this 10 rupees as a profit. So now the cost price of this one is not 120, it is 110. So already we got the benefit of 10 rupees. Next is you have to pay the tax here, that is GST, tax as GST. This is the price without GST. So GST is 10% of the cost price. So 11 rupees. So hence consumer paid 110 plus 11, 121 rupees. See the difference? So that is the benefit of this GST system. So we get rid of this tax on tax. We need not to pay. The tax is paid. So government will know tax is paid. It came to me. So the consumer will not pay the tax again on that tax. That is the cascading, and that is the benefit of GST. So we need to follow this GST system to get rid of this cascading. Now we'll learn about the input tax credit and output tax. It's very important thing of this GST chapter. First, we have to know few things. That is, the who is the ultimate taxpayer? The consumer. This is the pen. I am using this pen, so I am the consumer. Or I am wearing this T-shirt, so I am the consumer. So I finally paid the tax. Okay. So if I paid 100 rupees tax, that is I am the ultimate taxpayer. Here I wrote here taxpayer. For GST problem, we have to understand who will buy an article, he will pay the tax, and from whom he is buying, he is the tax collector. Like from this supply chain, this is the supply chain, wholesaler to retailer, retailer to consumer. This is the supply chain we have to first understand. A retailer purchased from wholesaler, so retailer paid the tax to wholesaler, and wholesaler collected that tax. And here consumer paid the tax. Consumer bought from the retailer, so consumer paid the tax to retailer, and retailer collected the tax. So who is the buyer? He will pay the tax, and who is the seller? He will collect the tax. But he can keep with himself or herself. They have to send to the two houses are there, two treasuries are waiting. That is central government, state government, and central government treasury. So how is it going? Let suppose this 100 rupees paid as the tax by the consumer for an article. How this 100 rupees is going, we have to understand. That is, then it will be clear what is input tax credit and output tax, and what is net tax as well, or tax liability. Now, by this figure, one thing it's clear that who is purchasing here, wholesaler is selling the article to retailer. So wholesaler is selling, that means he is collecting tax. Retailer paid the tax in this step, and in this step consumer bought the article, so consumer paid the tax to retailer, and retailer collected. So if I am the retailer, so when I purchase from the wholesaler, I gave the tax, and when I sell the article to the consumer, so I am collecting tax. So among these three, it is this retailer has two roles. He is paying tax, and here collecting tax. But other two, he is only paying and he is only collecting. So how much he is paying tax, that is input tax credit, and how much he is collecting from the consumer, that is output tax. So first and foremost thing is these two terms, this input tax credit and output tax, both goes with the middleman, the retailer. It They have no connection with wholesaler and the consumer. So these two terms goes with the middleman, the retailer. What retailer, when retailer purchased the thing, he paid some GST, that is input tax credit. And when he collected GST from the consumer, that is called output tax. So what is input tax credit and what is output tax? Input tax credit is tax paid by the middleman, and output tax is tax collected by the middleman. Okay, when he purchased the thing, how much tax he paid? So that is input tax credit and output tax. By one simple example, we'll try to understand what is input tax credit and what is output tax and what is net tax or tax liability. So now let us consider the selling price of a thing for the wholesaler is 100 rupees. Let this pen, and GST is 10%. GST is 10%. So retailer came to purchase this pen. Wholesaler told, okay, my selling price is 100 rupees and you have to pay GST 10%. So retailer paid how much as GST? He paid GST collected here 10 rupees, because GST always calculated on the selling price. GST collected by the wholesaler is 10 rupees. That means 10 rupees retailer paid as GST, and that this 10 rupees is here, this one. This is called input tax credit. Input tax credit. So how much he paid at the time of purchase from the wholesaler, that GST is called the input tax credit. Okay, and now he already purchased this one. Selling price, now he for his cost price is 100 rupees and he added some value, means the profit 10%, 10 rupees. So now what is the GST? When consumer bought the article, so consumer came to buy, so his cost price is 110 rupees, and he has to pay the GST 10%, and that is 11 rupees. That is 11 rupees. So rupees 11 is collected by the retailer. This 11 rupees is here. This 11 rupees is the output tax. So I hope it's clear by this example what is input tax credit and what is output tax. The retailer, when he bought the article from the wholesaler, how much tax as GST he paid, that is 10 rupees. This is his input tax credit. And why and how much he collected when he sold it to the consumer is 11 rupees. So that is called output tax. But why this credit term came? That we have to understand. Credit term came. First thing, ultimately, who is the taxpayer? I told the consumer is the taxpayer. So consumer paid how much tax? 11 rupees tax. Consumer paid 11 rupees tax. So government should get this, both the government should get how much rupees as GST? 5.5 and 5.5. Okay, so this 11 rupees has to be divided into two equal parts if it's a intrastate trading. Consider it it's a intrastate trading. So 5.5 rupees and 5.5 rupees should go to the government houses. One more thing, this wholesaler collected how much money? 10 rupees as GST from the retailer. So this 10 rupees he can't eat. So he has to, what is his liability? His liability is how much tax I collected, I have to send to the government houses. So this 10 rupees he will send equally, that means 5 rupees to state government and 5 rupees to central government. So this is his liability. Who collected his liability, that he will send to the government houses. Now what about the retailer? So government, both the government got already 5 rupees. They are waiting for this 50 paisa. 50 paisa. So retailer collected 11 rupees. 11 rupees. But out of 11 rupees he already paid. He already paid. That's why he credited the tax. He credited the tax. So he has to send how much money? Now 11 minus 10 rupees equal to 1 rupees to the government houses, and that is his liability. That is called net tax. So net tax means output minus input tax. Net tax or tax liability, same thing. This is his liability, that 1 rupee should go to the government houses. So he, what is his role? He will send this 50 paisa to the state government and 50 paisa to the central government. Okay, so I hope by this example it's clear that what is input tax credit, what is output tax, and what is net tax. So no other things of the theory portion is left. Now we will jump to the problems. I hope my class was helpful to all of you. If you like this class, please share with your friends.